Welcome back, Soul fan, to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. I'm Max Soul.
And I'm Mello Soul. And this is another chance to peek under the foundation and see who built this thing we call soul.
Yeah, kick the tires.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where we dig into that foundation laid by the true giants of our genre.
So true, Mello. This show is indeed about that foundation. And they were indeed giants. It's pretty cool. Today, we're talking about two of those figures who were very, very synonymous with sophistication, seduction, and revolution in R&B. And those are the golden voices of Isaac Hayes and Barry White.
Ooh, baby.
Ooh, yeah.
And these aren't just artists, Max. They were cultural icons who dramatically changed the scale and ambition of soul music. They took the raw, gritty heart of R&B and dressed it up in a full tuxedo.
Ain't he purdy?
Creating the blueprint for what we now call progressive soul or symphonic soul.
Or deep soul, as they call it today. I mean, it's really just great music, so they actually can call it whatever they want. But sure as hell, Mello, it has soul. And that's for damn sure. And that's a lesson right there. They proved that black music didn't have to be confined to the 3-minute single or just a simple funky groove. Isaac Hayes, especially with his landmark album, Hot Buttered Soul, he shattered that ceiling by releasing tracks that ran for 12, even 19 minutes. Boy, today's generation has a hard time with that.
They sure do. Exactly. They're missing the fact that the compositional arrangement and orchestrations in these intros back in the day were what built the bed that set you up for the verse and the chorus payoffs.
Exactly.
They just want it now.
Yeah, well, it's like Veruca Salt.
Yeah, I want it now.
I want it.
I mean, I'm not even going to mention the bridge, Max.
If there is one.
If there is one, yeah. But back in the day, well, that shift changed everything. It elevated the album to a piece of art and soul music, giving later artists like Marvin Gaye and Curtis Mayfield the permission to get expansive, conceptual, and deeply ambitious.
Right.
For us and for our peers today, that's the ultimate permission slip. The art dictates the length, not the market.
Isn't that a wonderful idea, Mello? The art dictates the length. That is just so fucking cool. And their sound, that solid blend of a funky rhythm section with deep drums, a rolling bass, and a massive, it's a massive thing, man, backdrop of strings, horns, and woodwinds. I mean, totally cinematic, totally mature. The definition of a deep vibe.
So true, Max. And today we're dissecting those lessons, the power of orchestration, the liberation of the album format, and how they weaponize that deep spoken word monologue. We're going to find the through lines from their work to the new wave of soul that we're creating now.
That's definitely right. But first, we're going to take a short break. But then we'll be right back.
That's right. You're listening to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul, and we're talking deep soul.
So stay with us.
Okay, Max, we start with the man in the gold chains, the shaved head, the pioneer, Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
Before he was a solo star, he was a Stax record powerhouse, co-writing over 200 Southern soul classics like Soul Man and
Hold On,
I'm Coming, of course.
Those are two of Sam and Dave's hugest songs.
Isaac Hayes was a master of the concise hit.
And you know, Mello, it's vital to remember that his mastery wasn't just writing. Isaac Hayes was a true architect of soul from the ground up. He wasn't just directing from a booth. He was in the room as a session musician, playing keyboards or even the baritone saxophone. He was the guy working out the brass arrangements with the legendary Memphis Horns in an office. There, they would be in a room sitting around a conference table listening to the 2-track reel-to-reel with the songs on it that they were working on.
Right, Max. With the charts right in front of them. Not really a chart, but just pieces of paper, really, where they wrote their notes and they figured out what notes they were going to play across the changes.
That's exactly right, Mello. And as they listened, they figured out the parts that they were going to play, and then they decided how it would sound over the song while playing over the 2-track, and then they'd roll the tape back again, rehearse it a few times, make it all badass and shit, and then go downstairs and record it.
Yes,
and that's how they did it.
Exactly. There's really a good French documentary on Stax record that shows one of these very horn arranging sessions.
Correct. It was a session for the Emotions, So I Can Love You, and it was in 1969 where he was working out. And again, this is the Memphis Horns, Wayne Jackson, Andrew Love, and Ben Cawley. So at this point, you know, Isaac Hayes, he and his co-writing partner David Porter they were becoming the hottest commodity of Stax. I mean, with Sam and Dave, with this music, I mean, they were the hottest commodity as writers, arrangers, and producers starting in 66 and 67. And they virtually defined the entire Stax roster.
That's the key takeaway for any young artist. Hayes' solo vision was built on a foundation of total instrumental and production mastery. He knew how to build a hit from the rhythm track up, and he could speak the language of every player in the room, Max.
Yeah, he was a badass.
Yeah, his ability to be a holistic writer, arranger, producer, and player is what allowed him to pull off his next absolutely revolutionary move.
Exactly, Mello. But the genius moment, that genius moment came when he broke away from the concise Stax structure and that lesson of Hot Buttered Soul in 1969, to which he was noted for his new sound, which included a massive, as I said before, backdrop of strings and horns from the Memphis Symphony. He liked Memphis, obviously, and a solid backbeat.
That's correct, Max. In a quote, Hayes addressed critics of his new style, saying, "I was knocked by some critics at the time who said, 'Who does he think he is, taking horns and strings and putting them on top of a funky rhythm track?' But that was the way I heard it. That's the way I felt it. And now it's the going thing."
That's exactly right. And his later work, like Shaft, the soundtrack to Shaft, features an irresistible mingling of wah-wah guitar and orchestral flourishes, and everybody knows that tune. Everybody. Isn't just that it was a long song. It was just that it was really brave. Because the industry told him that an 18-minute song would fail. And he said, "This is the way I feel," like he said before. And it became Stax's biggest hit, and he got an Oscar out of it.
Okay, it sure did. And that's the first crucial lesson for any young soul artist today. Trust your artistic vision
Bet.
over industry convention. That progressive approach, taking a standard like Walk On By and turning it into a 12-minute symphonic epic.
Epic.
That's how you define a new lane.
Yeah, his sound provided a literal blueprint for hip-hop. And Isaac Hayes is one of the most sampled artists, like James Brown, in hip-hop. The funk grooves and the orchestral stabs from just the Shaft soundtrack alone are a cornerstone for countless hits by everyone from Jay-Z to Dr. Dre.
Just think about that, Max. The cinematic soul sound he pioneered wasn't just beautiful, it was fundamentally funky.
Damn right.
That marriage of the lush and the gritty, that's the DNA for a lot of today's R&B, where we blend live instrumentation with electronic textures.
Sound familiar, Mel?
Yep, very
sure
familiar.
does. We also have to talk about his introduction of the long, intimate spoken monologue, Mello, his rap. And he used the word rap before anybody
Before
did.
anybody else did.
Exactly. It was a stylistic device that made the listener feel like they were right there in the room with him. And it influenced the entire generation of soul crooners, not to mention all the hip-hoppers.
Because back then that was the expression, like, let me rap to you for a minute.
Right,
You know?
exactly. Yeah, come on, baby. Let me rap to you.
Right, Max. It wasn't just talk. It was setting the mood, establishing the narrative, and building the tension before the music even hit its stride.
Right?
An early form of emotional storytelling that resonates in every dramatic intro or interlude that you hear in modern R&B albums.
And of course, Mello, there is the image, Black Moses, the shaved head, the chains, and that commanding presence we talked about earlier. It's a sophisticated, powerful symbol of Black masculinity and pride. And it proved that an artist's persona can be as impactful as their music.
100%, Max. The lesson, own your narrative, own your look, and let it amplify your music.
Hell yeah.
And that's true for every new artist building a brand on social media today.
And speaking of brands, we're going to take a short break. But before we do, well, we're going to ask you, and you know what we're going to ask you.
That's right, Max. If you like what you hear, if you're picking up what we're putting down.
Yeah, if you're grooving and your head is moving, well, maybe that means this subject actually resonates with you. And if it does, we'd actually love for you to give us a like and a follow. It really means the world to us.
That's right, Max. It truly means a lot. And right now we're going to step aside, take a quick break, and come back and talk about the lover man maestro, Mr. Barry White.
Yeah, buddy. As my friend Lou Rawls used to say, don't go nowhere. You're listening to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. Welcome back, Soul Fam. So, Mello, if Isaac Hayes was the progressive soul liberator, then Barry White was the lover man maestro. He took that symphonic soul template and perfected the art of seductive, epic serenade.
That pretty much says it, Max. Isaac Hayes paved the way with Hot Buttered Soul, and then Barry White walked right into that space with an even fuller and more intense sound, famously creating the Love Unlimited Orchestra. And bam, he was using a 40-piece orchestra to lay down funk tracks. And remember, this is the early 70s when big was truly big.
Big was big, man. It really was. But Barry White's path to becoming this icon of romantic soul included several notable moments and challenges. Showing an amazing talent, he became interested in music at a really early age, and by 11. And this is so amazing. He had his first recording session, playing piano on Jesse Belvin's R&B hit, Good Night, My Love. Can you imagine being 11 and you're playing on a hit?
No. And being young and being dumb, though, he got involved with a Los Angeles gang.
Never a good thing.
Yeah, and Barry was jailed for 4 months at age 17 after being convicted of stealing Cadillac tires.
You're talking about kicking the tire.
Exactly. He credited listening to Elvis Presley's It's Now or Never on the radio while he was in jail, and that's what inspired him to pursue a music career and leave the gang life alone.
So I guess you're thinking it would be easy peasy from here on for Barry, right? But no. No. His famous deep lower register voice, well, it wasn't like that, right? And so he thought he was going to have a normal voice like everybody else. And at 14, well, his voice dropped to the low register, an event that horrified both him and his mother.
I guess we found out the reason.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. We found out the reason why he thought he was only going to be a producer and behind the scenes and satisfied.
Nope. No, the voice drop only convinced him that he didn't have what it takes, but it wasn't true. He had every other skill, and he knew that. And once his manager showed him the error of his ways, well, boom, he became a powerhouse.
Yep, Max, he became unstoppable in his creating and crafting, especially in the scale with which he thought of modern production,
Yeah, no doubt, Mello. And the sheer scale of this production is the central lesson here. Commitment to maximum sonic texture. He was a self-taught musician who could write and conduct complex arrangements. He wasn't just adding strings. He was blending classical sophistication with pure, raw funk. And of course, with the advance of technology, and they had multi-track at this point, so it was no longer about 4 tracks or 8 tracks, and that gave them the freedom of capturing large performance groups to recording as an art, because now they had 24 tracks to do it on, and it didn't have to be like Motown, one take, right? We got it all due. If we fuck up, we're fucked, right? They used technology at the time to leverage that advantage, right? Allowing them to blend that big, beautiful, and soulful piece into what it became. And that's a major mark in soul music: creation and orchestration, Mello.
Yes, Max, and that blending is key for new artists. When you use today's technology, synths, samplers, drum machines, and some crazy, crazy cool plugins.
I love my plugins.
Yeah, I know you do. Max is always hacking away in the Groove Tune, looking to advance the cause.
That's right, Mello. I just can't help myself. Technology is making some amazing sonic toys with which help the ever-evolving evolution of the music that we make. And speaking of that, we hope you got a chance to check out our new song, Whatever You Want.
Oh, yes, we hope you got a chance to hear it. It's a duet with my good friend and great singer, Miss Emily Satie.
She did a great job.
Yeah. It's on all the streaming services, and of course, there's a lyric video on our YouTube page.
Come check it out.
Right, so getting back to blending and using technology.
Let's blend.
Yeah, today you have these incredible abilities to create that same kind of cinematic wall of sound, and when you do that, you're building an experience. It's not just a track. Barry White wasn't just making songs, he was composing experiences.
Right, it's true, Mello. And his voice, well, that basso profundo is one of the most recognizable in music history.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah, man. He took that Isaac Hayes spoken word concept and made it his signature, turning the intro rap into the definitive sound of the 70s bedroom soul. Or, tell me a secret, baby. I don't want to know just about any secret. I just want to know about that special secret.
Because tonight I want to know all the secrets in your garden.
Pretty bad Barry White impersonations for the both of us.
Yeah. That guy was smooth. He
was awesome.
Yeah,
he really was.
He pioneered the entire persona of the deep voice romantic crooner.
And who didn't know that voice when you heard it?
Exactly. And he made it cool to be overtly sensual and dramatically romantic, and all backed by that magnificent driving orchestration. And none of that would have happened if Barry had his way in the beginning.
Well, that's right, Mello. It's true, because as we said before, he wanted to remain behind the scenes as a writer, composer, arranger, and producer. And he only began his solo singing career after cutting demos of his songs for another male artist.
Right, Max. But when his manager heard the demos, he insisted that Barry should record them himself.
Thus the miracle started.
Exactly. And initially, of course, he was reluctant to do that. But Barry White realized that his voice was the right one for the songs after he heard them played back from a console mixer with just the piano.
Can you imagine? He's sitting he doesn't think he's good. He's sitting in a studio. They're playing a piano with his voice on it, and he finally sees he's the missing piece. I mean, like, that just goes to show you that you never know.
Right.
But it's certainly a bold lesson, Mello, to lean into your unique voice literally and figuratively. So being a reluctant solo star, it took convincing for him to realize that his singular voice, that was the missing piece.
That's a powerful lesson for today's producers and songwriters, man.
Hell yes.
Sometimes your biggest asset is the thing you're trying to hide or give away. Your unique signature, that's your gold.
That's right. Very true, Mello. And for the instrumentalists out there, let's not forget the Love Unlimited Orchestra's instrumental hit Love's Theme. It was a massive global chart topper, a powerhouse piece of music, and proved that instrumental R&B could be a major commercial force, which is a lesson in genre bending that still applies today.
It truly does, Max. It truly does. And speaking of doing things, what we're going to do now is take a short pause for the cause.
Yeah, and then we're going to come back and talk about these two and their unique impacts on how they correlate.
And you're listening to Architects of Soul. Max and I will be right back.
Yep, sit tight, Soul fam. Thanks for tuning into Architects of Soul. Our music is waiting for you.
And you're back here with us on Architects of Soul. And if you like what we're doing and these stories from these Architects of Soul are resonating with you,
then please give us a like and a subscribe. We really appreciate it. So, Mello, when you look at Isaac Hayes and Barry White side by side, their similarities are obvious, right? The deep voice, the long raps, the lush orchestration, they're permanently linked as the twin pillars of symphonic soul, right? Isaac Hayes broke the ground by being the progressive innovator who saw the future of the album. And then Barry White came in as the grand architect who perfected the slick, seductive application of that sonic sculpting. Wow, say that 3 times fast.
Really, that's a tongue twister.
Yeah, quite a tongue twister, Mel. But it was absolutely spot on.
But their unique impacts offer different lessons for us, though, Max. Isaac Hayes' legacy is rooted in the liberation of form and his direct sampled blueprint for hip-hop.
Right.
He showed that a black artist could be a critically acclaimed composer and a funky cultural icon, and also...
Get that Oscar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, big O, yo.
He broke the Oscar barrier, actually.
That's exactly right. And Barry White's lesson is about the mastery of mood and the creation of a whole emotional world. He was a self-taught maestro who used the orchestra to create an atmosphere of pure grand-scale romance. He defined a whole new persona.
Just think about the modern soul and R&B landscape, Max. We have Isaac Hayes' spirit in artists who blend ambitious, long-form musical suites with gritty, modern production. Just look at Gil Scott-Heron.
I love Gil Scott-Heron. And it's true, Mello. He pioneered the use of the dramatic, intimate spoken word monologue, which he called a rap, as a stylistic introduction to his lengthy songs. Starting with that breakthrough hit, Hot Buttered Soul, in 1969, his monologues were about setting a mood, building a narrative, and establishing an emotional connection before the music fully launched into song.
Right, Max.
That's a forgotten thing today.
Yeah, it's a great corollary. Gil Scott-Heron, who began recording in the early 70s, expanded upon this format of Isaac's. He took the spoken word delivery and narrative focus of the rap and repurposed it for a more explicit social and political commentary, creating a signature style often called proto-rap or spoken word soul.
Oh, yeah.
Isaac Hayes advanced the cause of liberation, long-form music, Max.
Right?
With Hot Buttered Soul shattering the traditional 3-minute pop mandate in R&B.
Boy, did he shatter that.
by a long way. And featured tracks by the time I get to Phoenix, which literally stretched almost 19 minutes.
Whole album side.
Yep.
Amazing. But this is Isaac Hayes' lesson, Mello. This showed that black artists could create ambitious album-oriented releases that embraced jazz-like complexity and extended length. And that allowed Gil Scott-Heron to create a powerful parallel. Because this liberation Isaac Hayes fostered was crucial for artists like Gil, who needed that freedom of long, non-traditional song structures to deliver their dense lyrical and narrative content, whether it was the epic structure of The Bottle, which I fucking love,
The Bottle,
or his extended poetry pieces. But this was music that the Black Moses' spirit brought forth.
And that spirit of Black Moses is the unapologetic confidence and cultural commentary of today's biggest stars like Kendrick Lamar.
Right you are, Mello. Kendrick Lamar is the quintessential modern inheritor of Isaac Hayes' progressive spirit. Ambitious, album-oriented releases. His albums like To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn are conceptual, dense, and narrative-driven, echoing Isaac Hayes' focus on the album as an artistic statement rather than a collection of singles.
True, Max. Isaac Hayes' cultural commentary and confidence inspired Kendrick, and his work directly addresses complex and social political themes concerning Black life and American culture with uncompromising, unapologetic confidence, mirroring the power and messaging of Isaac Hayes' Black Moses.
That Black Moses had some persona.
Yeah, exactly, and incorporating a jazz-like complexity. So Kendrick Lamar frequently incorporates jazz musicianship and the free-form musical structures aligning with the jazz-like complexity and extended tracks that Isaac Hayes pioneered in R&B.
Right, and then there's Frank Ocean, who embodies the Hayesian lesson of the liberation of form and embracing complexity. Or then there's Solange Knowles, who I got to work with, whose music I really, really liked. Mm-hmm. And her work directly reflects the fusion of cultural commentary and ambitious musical structure, Mello. Her music is often sprawling and feature arrangements that blend soul, funk, and experimental art pop, using extended track lengths and musical interludes to build a continuous, cohesive, album-long experience. It's really good music.
Mm-hmm. And then, Max, there's Childish Gambino.
Don't forget Donald Glover.
Exactly. Who he demonstrates the willingness to completely reinvent and pursue a specific high-concept musical vision. His ambitious album releases like Awaken My Love show a fearless pivot to a progressive psychedelic funk soul sound.
It's with them Temptations back in the 70s.
Yeah, exactly. Very
psychedelic shack.
Yeah. The entire project is a deliberate, uncompromising artistic statement that is less about hit singles and more about creating a powerful retrospective groove, similar to how Hayes reinterpreted standards into epics.
And then there's that unapologetic confidence, Mello. His ability to succeed across multiple artistic fields and maintain a highly specific, high-confidence vision in his music. It's a modern parallel to Isaac Hayes' multi-hyphenate career, songwriter, producer, composer, actor, and larger-than-life persona.
Yeah, and we have Barry White's influence in every artist who employs lush, atmospheric production and a strong, seductive persona to build immersive and emotional experience. The sophistication of that Love Unlimited Orchestra sound lives in the layered texture of contemporary production.
And their story, including the one direct collaboration on Dark and Lovely, shows that even pioneers in the same space can exist, influence each other, and sometimes even have drama.
Let's take a moment to talk about that drama and how professionals deal with it no matter what happens. It's a great example of two artists coexisting even with a problem, right?
That's right, Mello. So it seems that while Isaac Hayes and Barry White were close friends and professional peers, while their relationship had a major strain.
Yes, sir, Max. There was the rumor of betrayal.
Dun, dun, dun.
According to an unconfirmed but widely circulated rumor, a fallout occurred between those two artists because Isaac Hayes was suspected of having an affair with Barry White's wife, Lodine.
But she wasn't his wife at the time, or was she?
I don't know if she was his wife by then, but their relationship, who knows when it started and ended.
Right, because I know she was in his band.
Yeah, and they remained close even after they divorced. They continued to work together. But
he wrote the lyrics for the Love Unlimited's Walking in the Rain, right? And that was inspired by conversations when she was in the band. I mean, just goes to show you what a woman can do to a man.
Yeah, and this alleged betrayal caused significant personal strife that affected their relationship in the industry. Right, Max. It just goes to show you what a woman can do to a man.
That's what I said. But you got, as we said before, these two were total professionals. So despite any personal tensions, they were frequently seen together in the same professional and social circles, including that famous 1978 photo alongside other greats like Rick James and Teddy Pendergrass. They were pretty cool to be able to deal with that, because a lot of people can't deal with that. And ultimately, their shared artistic foundation truly is what endured anyway.
Right, Max. And the biggest takeaway from both, be uncompromising in your vision.
Oh, without a doubt.
Whether it's Hayes' 19-minute track or White's 40-piece orchestra, they never scaled back the ambition to fit the market. They forced the market to scale up to meet them.
That's the truth. And if you like this content, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. And when we come back, we'll be wrapping up with our final thoughts on the enduring lessons of these two legends.
That's right. You're listening to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to wrap this puppy up.
No, don't go nowhere. Hey, we're back for the close of this deep dive into Isaac Hayes and Barry White, two titans who proved that soul music could be as grand, as progressive, and as ambitious as any other genre in the world, Mel.
Truly, Max. And for us, all of us making music today, their work gives us permission to be cinematic, to use instrumental interludes, to tell long-form stories,
Holla.
and to invest heavily in the quality and texture of our sound.
That's right, Mello. The Isaac Hayes lesson: be a revolutionary composer. Smash the time barrier. Let the art be as big as it needs to be.
The Barry White lesson: be a master arranger.
With a really low voice.
With a really low voice. Use all the tools at your disposal, from the deepest bass to the highest string, to create a fully immersive emotional universe for your listener.
That's right. Max and Mello's Architects of Soul is all about finding those lessons in the past to inspire the future. The deep vibe they created is the well which we continue to draw from.
That's right, Max. And from that well, we will continue to draw.
So as usual, we want to leave you with our final thought and our hope that you'll remember these words and protect your art.
Right you are, Max. Keep that soul fire burning. Protect your sound. Nurture your creativity. Own your voice. And remember the lessons from the giants who came before.
And yes, protect your masters and seek out wise mentors who can guide you on your journey. And until next we meet, peace and soul, y'all.